Guys, we're making pizza dough. So here's what I've got. I've got all the dry ingredients that I've measured. I've mixed them. So in my case, it's gluten-free pizza. Yours should be exactly the same. It's flour, salt, baking soda, and then I've mixed that together. I've added the olive oil, and then on the side, I've got water, and I've got the yeast that's been sitting in there for about 5 minutes or so. So here's the procedure. You're gonna add the water into your mix of flour and all of your other ingredients. Got a little stuck on the bottom. And then you're gonna mix it by hand. So this is gonna take probably 3 minutes or so. And in today's example, I've got a bit more flour because I'm making 6 pizzas. We're having some friends over tonight. So normally I would make 4, but I'm making 6. So anyway, you're just gonna mix the water and mix it in good. It's probably gonna take, like I said, probably 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. And even when you think you're done, you're gonna have some flour on the bottom of your dough ball, and you're gonna end up having to mix some more. So anyway, mix and keep mixing. I've been mixing for about 5 minutes, and what I now have is a nice consistent ball of dough. So at this stage, we're going to transfer the ball of dough onto a surface. In my case, I have a wood butcher block, not required. If you have a granite countertop or any kind of solid surface countertop, that'll do. What is very important in this step is that you get some of your flour and you transfer it, and you put some onto your surface that you're going to be rolling the dough in. So I take some, I sprinkle it, then I take an open palm, move it around a little bit. The dough is going to be very sticky. The extra flour is what's going to make it so you can work the dough and so it doesn't stick to everything. You're also going to want to take a little bit of flour and get it on your hands. Okay, so from there, I just take my spatula and I take the ball of dough and I transfer it into the flour that I've sprinkled on the surface and just work it out of the bowl. And then I've got a nice dough ball. Okay, so you're done with the bowl and utensils. Now I've got a little bit of flour on my hand. I like to dip a little bit more. Now it's time to shape the ball of dough and to knead it. So you can take it and literally just start rolling it back and forth. And you can see by putting the flour on the surface, I don't get sticky. Now I try not to get too much flour onto the ball of dough because it can change the consistency of the dough. So once I get a little bit on there, I take the residual that's on the countertop and just move it off with my hand, and then I keep it on the side, and if I need any more, I can bring it back in. So from there, I just start taking the ball of dough, shake off any extra flour, and just start mashing it in my hands. Back and forth, I roll it, roll it, roll it, until I get a nice, consistent ball of dough, which probably takes me, I don't know, I mess with it for maybe a minute or 2. Put it back and forth in my hands a little bit, roll it, but you really can't go wrong. Once you get a nice consistent ball of dough, I actually make it into a ball, and from there I think I'm feeling pretty good about the ball of dough. I take it, put it back on the countertop, and I just shape it into a ball of dough that I can now cut into the individual pizzas. I believe you guys are making a recipe that will make 4 doughs and 4 pizzas. Mine is 6. So, gotta step out of the frame. From here, I'm gonna get my knife. I take a little bit of the residual flour, put it on the knife because it can be sticky. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna cut it. So I'm gonna cut it in half, and I pull, and then I end up with a ball of dough here. So I'll take that one, I'll set it aside. Then I take the ball of dough and I start shaping that again. A little bit, transfer it back and forth from hand to hand, roll it, put it on the counter, roll it. Okay, so that's really about it. Maybe another 20 seconds of rolling. And then I put that ball onto the countertop, give it a little shape into a ball. Now, in your case, you're just gonna half this. This is gonna be 2 pizzas. In my case, I've gotta make this 3. So, let's see. We got 1, a third, So I pull that third. That doesn't quite look like a third. A bit more. 1/3, 2/3, and then the third. Then I take those individual balls and roll those into another ball. Shape that. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can prep the dough and get it prepared to rise. What I like to do is I put them into individual Tupperware containers, and I take my olive oil, put a little bit of olive oil into the bottom, and I just move it around so the bottom is coated with oil, and then I take my dough ball and simply put it inside the Tupperware container, and I just loosely cover it. I do not put the cover on. I just set the cover on top. That one's done. Second one, same thing. Take a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick, roll it into a ball, and same procedure. I add it into a Tupperware container. Now, the other way that you can do it if you don't have individual Tupperware containers is you can take a cookie sheet and you can prepare the cookie sheet with a little bit of flour, so you can sprinkle it on there, or you could use semolina, but in this case we're going to keep it simple. We're going to use the flour because you already have it. You'll take that, you'll put that dough ball onto the cookie sheet, then you take a little bit of flour, sprinkle it on top of the dough, and then, I don't know if I have one, you will take a towel and you can cover your dough balls that you created with the towel, and then within a couple hours the dough should be risen and should be prepared to cook. So that's it, guys, for the dough. We'll pick this up on Thursday afternoon and we'll get ready to make some pizza.